I had the Commanders winning this game. Now, I didn't have them winning it like that with Jalen Hurts leaving the game midway through the first quarter with a concussion. But I just thought it was a tough spot. The Commanders are fighting for their playoff lives. It's a divisional game. Jalen Daniels, as you saw yesterday, the biggest problems the biggest problem that has been presented to the Eagles defense in recent weeks has been Bryce Young and his ability to avoid the pass rush, scramble around, make plays with his legs, and also make plays with his arms that his legs are setting up. Now, Jaden Daniels made a ton of plays with his legs in getting chunk yardage, but it also allowed him to make plays with his arm. And we know that he's an excellent passer. And he was really good yesterday. He was great in the second half. He was great in the fourth quarter. Touchdown drives of 61, 87, and 57 yards in the final quarter. You're not going to win that game. The defense was undisciplined yesterday. CJGJ gets tossed out of a game. Jalen Carter with another penalty, unnecessary roughness on CJGJ. 12 men on the field at one point, 10 penalties for almost 100 yards, and give Washington credit. They made plays, and they end up winning the game. I mean, that last drive after Devontae drops it, and he drops the ball, and it's like, oh, man. Like, please, no. Like, no. Like, no. Now, if you had the Eagles covering the game, you were happy because it put them up by 5 points. But when you looked at it, you said, okay, there's plenty of time for Washington to drive down and to score. But, like, you're going to lean on your Eagles defense. You're going to say, all right, like, they can stop them. They've been great all year long. They just didn't have it yesterday. The secondary didn't look good. Quinyon Mitchell gave up a touchdown that we saw to McLaurin. We hadn't really seen that before. And with all this being said, this is okay. The Eagles didn't need the number 1 seed. Sure, I would love buys throughout the playoffs, but who knows what happens? Maybe they end up hosting an NFC Championship game. They could have won out. I wouldn't have been surprised if they won out, but losing yesterday isn't the end of the world. It's a division game on the road where their quarterback was making a ton of plays, and then also you lost your quarterback middle of the first quarter because they were trouncing Washington when Jalen left the game. So that's unfortunately we've been fortunate this year that Jalen Hurts has been able to stay healthy. When you run that much and your legs are that big a part of your game, it's almost inevitable that you're going to get dinged up. We saw it in previous years with Jalen. We saw it yesterday with the concussion. So we hope he's okay. I'm glad they were able to catch it because I watching the game real time, I was worried about the hit. I don't know about everybody else, but when I saw the hit, I said, uh-oh, that could be trouble. And not that I expected Joe Davis or Greg Olsen to have half of a clue. God, they were bad yesterday. Did Joe Davis not know that Jalen Hurts wasn't in the game? That Two Gloves Pickett out there with 2 gloves? And he played okay. But like Joe Davis was like, he was so shocked that Washington was able to be in the game with the 5 turnovers. They didn't have their starting quarterback. I don't know. Joe Davis was brutal yesterday. So now we know, because like with Jalen Hurts, we take it for granted how he's able to extend plays, how he's able to really do damage with the running part of him being a quarterback. I'm not even talking about the tush push. You know how annoying the tush push must be to other teams? Because essentially it's 1st and 8 every time the Eagles get the ball. That's tough. But Daniels yesterday was so good. He really, really was. Now, the next time they play, if they play in the playoffs, I'm sure there's going to be adjustments made to where, hey, now we're not going to let you get those runs on 3rd down and 4th down. But, God, give them credit. Give Washington credit. They were good yesterday. They were good late. The same thing could have happened even if Jalen Hurts was in the game and the Eagles had the big lead and then they took their foot off the gas pedal. We've seen this happen thousands of times in football. And then you see momentum shifting. The defense can't go off the field. The defense can't make stops. They can't do it on 3rd down. They can't do it on 4th down. So even if Jalen Hurts was in there yesterday, it potentially could have been a problem the way the defense was playing. But once again, I am not worried about it. Chin up. today. If you're the Eagles, you're going to take losses week to week league. It's okay. Chin up. This is still an excellent team.